don't want what we know out there.
How a person can go from really almost nothing to becoming a millionaire by owning rental properties.
He would always buy these flip houses, and I just remember thinking, this guy is crazy. Why would he buy that house?
In the past decade, there's been a huge surge in the peer-to-peer short-term rental market.
Become an insider. So you have to know the rules before you get the game.
Every second counts. So make every second count.
Welcome to the Real Estate Jam. Whether you're just beginning or the best of the best, we're glad you're here. We will share successes, failures, and strategies for the action-taking real estate investor. And now to your hosts, JD, Annabel, and Melissa.
Welcome to the Real Estate Jam podcast. I'm JD with my wonderful co-host.
Hello,
Melissa.
It's Spirit Sunday.
And we are going to
We're going to talk about stuff, not good stuff.
While drinking.
We're going to talk about problems. We're going to start from the beginning and then just start off. So,
wait, what beginning are we starting with?
The beginning, the inception of our business together and the obstacles that we faced from the beginning and how we overcame them. And then some of the bullshit stuff that we had to get through to get where we're at today. How about that?
Yeah, no, that's great. So, Melissa, when did we start?
So we started about 2.5 years ago, but then we started way before that, but then we decided to make a business together. We had our own separate long-term properties, rehabs that we had going on. And then we met at a mastermind a few years back. And then we decided that we were going to do apartment complex because we wanted to do a multifamily apartment complex and we were going to do it. We were going to
be the best multifamily investors ever.
We were going to be the best landlords. People were going to love us. They were going to drive forever to rent in our places in the beautiful Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yep. And what we quickly found out was, one, we needed a property manager.
Yep.
And so
and JD had one.
And I had one. He was good. He was
good, really good. He was going to be great.
He was, and he was also a contractor. So not only could he manage our property effectively, but he could
do it all.
Fix them all.
Yep. He was great. Right, JD?
He's super great.
Yep.
Super great.
So why don't you talk about how great he was?
So,
because I had to write the checks to this great guy.
That's true. And he did fix a lot of the stuff that was over there. But
allegedly, because we were absentee owners.
Yes. Absentee owners. And I guess
Don't be nice.
No. Well, he first off, I wouldn't manage a property and I wouldn't go and make repairs on that property over there in that neighborhood. I also wouldn't take somebody's money and tell them that I was doing that, but I wouldn't have done that in the first place. That's a bad neighborhood.
Murders.
Yeah. Right after we bought the property, there was a gangland execution style murder in the house right next door. And it was just one bad apple after another. I think
so bad.
When we're talking about rent payment, the only thing I can say about that first property manager is at least we were getting some money because he was over there beating on the doors and getting $150 here, $25 here, and then presenting it all and pushing it to us. Sure. He wasn't making sure that they took out their trash. He wasn't making sure that the windows weren't busted. There was a stolen car parked in our parking lot that he didn't do anything about.
What about the entryway where everybody used as a bathroom?
Right. Yeah. So they're homeless people using the entryway as a bathroom. There's a whole bunch of things that he wasn't doing, but at least he was getting us a couple $100 a month.
Yeah, that was so worth it.
So worth it. He also charged us $40,000 or something, $20,000 to make some repairs. That I guess the repairs were done, but we didn't manage it very effectively.
Yeah.
So then what we ended up,
That was our fault.
100% our fault. And we learned the hard way that we needed to have a more active role. We thought we could just give it to him and then hands off. And that was not the case. He eventually realized that it was too much for him and passed us on to another property management company that had a lot of experience in low income housing. And so we really thought that it was a step up because it clearly wasn't working good with the first one. And they were not any better. And I think I would even say that they were worse. They were literally just there to place tenants and collect rent. They didn't care about the condition of the property. They didn't care about who they were renting to because they got 50% of the first month's rent. So as long as somebody came in and had the money to be there the first month, they didn't care if they were out the very next month. And we didn't realize that until 2 months in.
Yeah. And so I can't tell you how many times we paid for doors to be changed, the locks to be changed.
Well,
we
and
paid for
just so we're clear on that, one of the employees of that property management company had his own locksmith key business. And so he was also the person in charge of our property. So I believe what he was doing, instead of getting the right keys and doing it the right way, he was charging us to rekey the doors every time through his personal business. But we didn't recognize that right away either.
Also, we paid a lot of people to clean. Nobody lived there, but there was a lot of cleaning going on.
Well, it was a dirty place and there was a lot of bugs and that kind of stuff. So the people that were coming in to clean 2 weeks later, when we'd finally get a tenant, they'd have to come back and clean again. I think we paid for more cleanings on that 10 unit in the short time that we had it than we have all season for our short-term rentals.
Plus, remember, then the one girl said she wasn't comfortable coming to clean anymore because it was so dangerous.
It was so dangerous that they were having drug addicts come up to them and gang members come up to them while they were in the process of cleaning. So really, in what one of the property managers told us was that if you're not over there by 6:30 in the morning and gone by 10, you were putting yourself at risk of the type of crime that was happening in that neighborhood.
Anyways, to make a good story out of that, so this is how we bonded and said, we want to do a business together because this went so well. Let's do it full time together and buy lots of properties. So
really, though, that is what happened. But what at least what it was for me is that I realized that even when we were in a poor situation financially, even when we were in a situation that was not ideal, that Melissa stuck to her end of the operating agreement and did what she told me she was going to do. There was never any lying. There was never any sugarcoating anything. And we were able to communicate open and honest. And I think that's a positive. That wasn't a negative.
No, you're right.
I think right. A relationship born in the fire will withstand more than one that's born in the springtime.
Very good point. And we struggled so long because we wanted to make it work so bad. We were so committed. JD and I were so committed to trying to make it work. And we just had to come to, and we're not quitters. And we just had to come to a point where we could just, unless we were living there, and then I don't even know if we would have been living there. There was just no property management there. We went through 3 of them. I don't know if we could have ever made it work. I
don't think we could. And that has to do with, one, us wanting that property to be profitable. Mm-hmm. 2, I think we were not a part of the community. Mm-hmm. So we would have always been seen as mm-hmm. outsiders and struggled with that. And it was just a really poor location. It was not, it was not in a location, that if we had lived there, we would have ever chose.
And as a follow-up to that, we definitely, our biggest mistake was we should have gone there and seen it before we ever bought it. For something like that, that wasn't like just buying a house that you haven't seen. That was just something we should have gone to see. But anyways, it ended up good. And so we moved forward off that.
Right.
And then, so then our next challenge was,
where do we want to do stuff? Well, I guess, yeah. Where do we want to go ahead?
No, you go.
No.
Go.
So where did we go next? Where did we go after Shreveport?
So we went to Birmingham, Alabama,
which is a really good market. And I just saw some information come out talking about Birmingham being one of their great rental markets where you can get the 1 or 2% rule and all this kind of stuff, which I agree with. It's a pretty good market. I would still be there if it wasn't for some other poor decisions that we had. Do you want to talk about those?
Well, we liked Birmingham, and it's definitely an area that they're pouring money into to try to, revamp their downtown. The outskirts communities still need a lot of work. But that market was just going to be a lot of, $20,000 to $40,000 houses. There wasn't going to be a ton of deals. We could have rehabbed,
or rented them out. I think one of the big issues over there, though, was as far as looking at it as a wholesale business, that the profit margins on the wholesales were not as high, definitely not as high as they were in Florida. And we didn't really have any connection in Birmingham like we did as far as the sheet metal business in Florida to really anchor us there. So I think it was a good decision. We got a lot of experience out of managing teams and working with partners and that kind of stuff in Birmingham.
And we really learned about who you want to partner with, because man, that's so important. And I think sometimes it's taken too lightly about who you partner with, and you definitely have to have your goals aligned and your values and your morals aligned. To make sure that everybody's on the same page. And I don't think that when we were partners in Birmingham with other people that was the case.
It definitely wasn't an ideal situation, but it was definitely a good learning experience too.
Yes.
So we decided that we were going to depart from Birmingham and fully establish. Well, we were already looking at properties and working in Panama City, but we decided to devote full-time focus to Panama City. And we found this awesome office space that smelled delicious.
We didn't know coming into it the different areas of Panama City and what was a good area and what was a bad area. So we found this perfect warehouse and the perfect office that fit perfect. And it came up on Facebook, and I was like, I called JD immediately, and this just came up and I think it's perfect. And so I went over there because he was in Las Vegas. He was in Vegas in the Air Force at the time. And so I was here, and I'm like, this is so perfect. And, I FaceTimed him and showed him around. Yeah, let's get it. And like nothing here lasted. So any kind of warehouse, office space, housing, anything was just going so fast right there. It was right after Michael. And so it wasn't completely done. They were redoing it from the hurricane damage. And so we didn't know that it was in a really bad neighborhood. And so, and we didn't know it was in a stinky neighborhood. Good gosh, that paper mill is a deal killer.
That's right.
And so
what's up with us picking places next to murders? Because this place, there was also
cops, shootings, murders, drugs. Lots of times I had to become friends with these people because I drove through there every night after work, and the prostitutes and the drug addicts, hey, what's happening? And they're like, hey, have a good one.
Goodbye. Thank you for not robbing us today. Yes. I appreciate that.
So we made it through the year lease. In retrospect.
Well, let's talk about some of the issues that we had while we were over there. Okay. We had.
So JD was enjoying his fun in Las Vegas.
That's right. I was in Las Vegas
while I
partying.
was stuck in this stinky shithole over there in Springfield.
Yeah, we're going to bleep that one out.
No, we're not.
So we hired a couple of people and started training them on how to do the different tasks that we needed. Initially, we were training them just on cold calling and I don't even know how many employees did we go through.
I think it's like 28.
It's like 28 over the last year. Now there's different reasons
29
for different
30.
things. Mainly Melissa's really mean and hateful. and
Yes, I am.
And while I was
Of course, they said JD was an asshole.
Right. Well, while I was in Las Vegas, I was just on the computer. So Melissa had to deal with a lot of that fallout. But we went through many employees. One, it's hard to manage people from across the country, but two, it's hard to find people that are competent and capable to do the job, because it takes more than your basic level intelligence to hold conversations and work with people. But it also takes a certain person who can sit there and do that every single day.
It's a hard job.
It's a really hard job. And then when you have Melissa, who's always a jerk, and me, that's always a jerk, it makes it even more difficult to get through the hard times. And one of the things that we learned is that we as bosses have to be super specific and super clear on what the bonus structures are, what the payouts are, because when people feel like they're not getting paid what they should, it really hurts people's feelings. And as a business owner, I think that's super important to realize that you cannot, you can't take lightly what other people feel like they're owed. Even
though I felt like it was very documented, as it was as plain as could be to me. And kidding aside, JD and I are probably the best bosses, these people, because everybody who quit just about has come back and said, "Hey, can I come back and work for you?" I'm like, no. So
some of them I wish I could, but it just goes against.
Well, let me just add this, since we're all being super honest. When you put people out there on social media and make up lies about them, that's a deal killer. You're never coming back in my life. Just saying.
Definitely. That's definitely true. And there's many different reasons for that, but
like what?
Many different reasons for why you're not going to bring somebody back. Yeah. Well, because one, people, I don't think you should ever burn a bridge unless you really have to.
Never.
And going out of your way, to talk bad about a business and a person or people shows that you're not, you don't care about that relationship. And with all of the employees that we've had so far, I've developed a relationship with them where I still, I like them as people. Even the people who have quit, I'm still, and obviously we're not friends, but I still care about them and I want to see good things for them. And then for somebody to come out and say hateful things or try to damage our business, I look at it as they're trying to take money and food away from my children and that kind of stuff. And there's really no forgiveness in my eyes for that. And I guess that's a little bit harsh, but maybe I can forgive, but I'll never forget it. Yeah. And for those reasons, I can't allow somebody to come back in. We probably have a couple that I would consider bringing back on. Most of the time when we separated with employees, it's more about we are not a good fit for them or they're not a good fit for us. And there isn't hard feelings about it,
there's lots that was the case for sure.
Where one kid was a server and then taken from being a server to sitting at a desk, staring at a computer screen all day. Well, that's a really hard transition. And I don't hold that against anybody.
No, he's a great guy. Yeah.
So we made it through the stinky office. We got to our nice office.
Yeah. So we made it the year. I don't know how, in retrospect, when JD and I drove by it the other day, we were looking at another house and I was like, I just don't know how we made it. But we did. And then we got a nice new office over in Panama City Beach and we had it all built out and we said, we don't need any ceilings.
Yeah,
because ceilings cost $20,000 more to put in the office, so we don't need ceilings.
Right.
Good decision.
Well, in hindsight, now that now that we have our virtual team, I think it was a great decision.
True.
But initially, so we got over to the office. We did another big round of hiring, brought a bunch of people in, had a whole bunch of turnover. Matter of fact, there's nobody left that was on that next big round of hiring. And then at that point, we decided, well, maybe we should try this virtual assistant thing that everybody's talking about. And now that we have virtual assistants, it's really nice and convenient that we don't have ceilings, because Melissa can just yell at me across the room and I can hear. Whereas before, if we had ceilings, she'd have to come around to my office or vice versa.
Yeah, we don't have to get up at all. It's great. But let me go back. So we had done, in between the hiring of people, we had also tried virtual assistants numerous times, and we're not successful. We didn't feel that it worked for us. It wasn't successful. And then we were getting super frustrated with the turnover, and JD had to train all these people, and then
from across the country, because at this point I'd moved to Virginia, with the Air Force to do everything from Virginia. Then COVID kicked off, and I wasn't able to travel anymore, so I couldn't come down to do any training.
So before COVID, he was coming probably every 6 weeks.
Yeah,
and so it's worked out fine. I mean, it wasn't the ideal, but it still worked out great. And then COVID happened, and we had just gotten our 2 short-term rentals, totally furnished, decorated, on the market. And then it was like, whoa, we got nothing.
Right. And we had researched and looked for this awesome property management company.
It was a referral.
Yeah.
From someone
and then
that we respected.
And then what happened?
So we got a little activity before the governor shut us down. And so, we thought, again, bad decision on our part, that if you had a property manager, they're making some decent change to do it, so we don't have to worry about it. Well, little did we know, they weren't getting cleaned. Every single thing just about in one unit got stolen, and a ton in the other one, but not everything. But one of the units, like, everything was gone: sheets, towels, towels, silverware. I mean, it's crazy shit.
What made us think that there was, or realize that there was a problem with the short-term rental management?
I think it was when Annabel read the reviews.
Right.
I wouldn't even have read the reviews.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
What happened.
We started seeing that our reviews were like 1-star reviews, and we're like, what the heck? And these are brand new properties, new builds that we had just completely furnished, and they're talking about they're dirty and they smell bad, and there was problems with them, and we're like, hey, what's up? So because we had learned the lesson with our first property manager on the 10 unit, we decided that we weren't going to put up with it very long. And we decided to let that property manager go, and that we were going to do it all of ourselves.
But let me throw that in there. So the governor let us open up again. That's really when it started happening. Yeah. It wasn't before. It was when the governor opened up and let us use it again. We started booking again, and then we started seeing all these issues. So we were like right in the middle of the end of the season. And so we were like, man, and their contract was, we had to honor any booking 60 days, 60 days out. So we were like screwed. So we were like, okay, we made the decision. As soon as this season over, we're firing them and we're going to self-manage. Boy, has that been fun, right?
I think it has been fun, because you know what?
I love it.
What's more fun than a little bit of an inconvenience of me having to go over and teach a person for the 27th time, or Steven having to go over and teach somebody how to use the clicker and how to turn the TV on and how to hook the internet up.
How to open the door.
Is crazy.
The carpet stuck up.
What I like more than all of that is that we have a positive number in our bank account, and our mortgages are paid for the next year and a half.
Yes. And we have stellar reviews now, because people can call me at 1 a.m. and say, it's hot in here. And then I'm going to take care of it for them.
When you can climate control on your cell phone and turn the AC up.
I can't get the door open. Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah.
And it's open.
Melissa does a really good job of managing it. And as far as I'm concerned, property management is super easy. I don't have to deal with the bookings. I don't have to deal with the people. I don't have to deal with any of that. It just happens by magic.
Of course, wait, let me add this. So everything's going great this season. We're just doing fabulous. And we're just like booking every day. We're getting a booking. And then there's a little hiccup. And like, it doesn't matter how it happened. It doesn't matter. It was a double book. The second I saw it, I text her back and I'm like, I am so sorry. It got double booked. She then told me she was going to report me to the Better Business Bureau. I was going to be on the news that night and I had ruined her kids' vacation.
I think that's great. And what we should have said is, well, good thing I don't care about your kids. That would have been
no. I immediately, the second that I saw that it got double booked on accident, I let her know. I offered her a discount. I offered her a free stay, and nothing was going to appease this woman.
Did she write us a bad review?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, then the chances.
But I'm waiting for the news to call me because I'm hoping I can give a shorefront vacation plug, and then I'll give like 10% off.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. But those are things that are going to come up. And I think we seen that a lot of other short-term rental owners deal with that same kind of stuff. I just found this new Facebook page. It's called Airbnb Blacklist. And I joined it. And anytime a property owner has somebody who is bad, they put them on there and say, hey, don't rent to this person. And then you can just go in there and search the name and see that, oh, so-and-so stole the silverware or whatever. So I'll invite you to that.
And on that note, don't let Airbnb dictate how you run your properties. They want to try to, but if somebody has bad reviews, you don't have to rent to them.
And what's the way to do that without getting in trouble?
You got to call them. Don't just don't just handle it on the app.
Right.
You've got to call them and say, hey, there's a reason that I don't want them to be in my $300,000 house. They have bad reviews, and then they handle it. But if you try to just do it through their app, it messes up your algorithm and your everything. So just call them.
When you call them and do it the right way, and then you stay in contact with them, what'd they send you?
They sent me a lovely, lovely Airbnb
Tumbler, I don't know.
Whatever it's called, drink thing.
Yeah.
So just so that you know, they do want to work with you, but you're going to have to pick up the phone and call and stay on hold forever or whatever it takes. But I did want to go back to talking about VAs because we have a good experience now.
Yeah, that's true. So what we were unable to do on our own was find a set of VAs that would work and that we could communicate well with when we were trying to independently source them. And we were recommended Rocket Station by our mastermind. And so far,
Don Costa.
Well, yeah, not just Don though. There was other people in there that recommended it. Yeah. And so far we've been more than happy with Rocket Station and their involvement. They find you outline what it is that you want, what you expect somebody to do, and then what those processes look like. And you do this with their team, and then they go into their talent pool and find people who are close to what you want, and then set up interviews for you. And you interview them just like you would a normal job interview. And then you get to pick who you want and start building your relationship with them. And so far, we've been super pleased.
We've been so happy with them. And we have a manager that helps us manage them, and her name is Sylvia.
Yeah, Sylvia does a great job.
Fabulous. Yep. I wish we could hire her away and to
make her an admin assistant.
She could live in my house because I would love to have her. But she helps us in any problems, she does a really good job of managing or helping us manage. Because one of the problems that we ran into with our in-office people is either I had to be the bad guy or Melissa had to be the bad guy. Now we get to let Sylvia be the bad guy, and that helps us maintain good relationships with our employees. We do try to treat them, just like they're part of the team, and everything. Striped shirt Monday.
Yep, we're implementing wacky hair Wednesday, striped shirt Monday, whatever. Because
that's my hair every day.
one of the The Spirit Sunday. That's today. But we had a really, really good experience with Rocket Station.
Yeah.
We've decided to hire additional people for additional positions. Because
so we hired 4 because we were so thrilled with them. So we have 2 cold callers and 2 lead managers. Do you want to talk about what each one does?
Yeah, well, what we decided was that the job that we were requesting people to do in office and with our virtual assistants is really pretty complicated, and we hadn't been able to find the right person that could do it. There was the cold calling side, and then there's the lead manager and lead follow-up side. We were expecting one person to be able to do both of those jobs. What we learned is it's not a job that one person can do both things. The type of personality that can sit on the phone and cold call all day is not the type of personality that can develop a relationship with individuals. And maybe it's not that the personality can't do both. It's that you can't do both at the same time
and be good at it
and be good at it. Right. We're running out of time. You can't cold call for 4 hours and then lead specialist for 4 hours and build relationships for 4 hours and expect to be a master of either. So what we did was we split our original position into 2 different positions. One's the cold caller position. One's the lead specialist position. The cold caller, all they do is cold call. They have a very, very basic, simple script. We're not deep diving into motivation. We're not deep diving into price. We're not deep diving into anything or rapport building. All we're doing is, do you have a property? Is this what it looks like? Do you want to sell it? Yes or no? Those kind of questions. And then we've created the position of lead specialist for those leads that come in either through the cold callers or through our other marketing channels to really nurture the leads until they're at a level where either me or Melissa or an acquisition specialist can, motivate or present offers and get contracts. And we're working through that now. There's some kinks in there. We didn't even talk about changing the CRM, but that's been a lifesaver too. Beast mode CRM.
So we changed
really
our CRM over to beast mode, and that was I was scared to death of it because it's so complicated. But luckily, JD spent 6 weeks.
No, like
3 full time.
Yeah, like 3 full-time weeks trying to go through all the training, learning everything.
But he did a stellar job, and now it's like
it's saving us so much time.
Awesome.
It is great.
But back to these girls, back to our team, because we like to refer to them as our team. They are we're super, super happy with them. And if they can get it to where, at one point they're going to be able, the lead specialist will be able to, I feel, close them over the phone.
Yep.
Right now, they're getting them primed for us to come in, and it's still worked out great because we're getting more this way with the lead the cold callers, the lead manager, and then JD and I than we ever got with having 5 people in office. So part of that is that the VAs are working hard every day, and then part of it is me and Melissa are better at that job than anybody we've hired. Because we're more vested.
And we're a good team.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the not having to put up with the office drama, and I'm not trying to be like that and be one of those people, but every day, people in the office, there is some kind of drama. Somebody got beat up. Somebody got
bit.
Somebody, I mean,
why are you with people who bite you? Why is that a thing? If somebody bites me, I'm not there anymore. If you bite me one time, Melissa, I promise we cannot be friends anymore.
I know. And then everybody had COVID, all the time. Somebody had COVID or bronchitis, right?
Yeah. Since November
it was
till now, everybody's had COVID.
We never had to pay anybody 40 hours straight because nobody ever worked it until we got the
virtual assistants. And they're really, they're working more than their normal hours. So
they do great. They come in before they're checking in and reviewing everything before they start at 9. And if they've got somebody on the phone or they're still working, they're still there to 6:20, 6:30.
Yeah.
So we're just super happy with that.
Super happy with them. We're actually going to send them a box of Shorefront swag to hopefully give them some sense of camaraderie
and some cash,
because that always helps. Yeah. Well, I think, we've talked about a lot of our problems. We talked about some of our successes, but at the end of the day, at the end of Spirit Sunday, do you think it's all worth it? Do you think we're going in the right direction?
Oh yeah. And I'm going to go back to what I was talking about the last episode. We were sitting on maybe having some mobile home park.
Oh my gosh, the mobile home park.
JD's not going to tell you, but he's always wanted to own multiple mobile home parks.
That's because I lived in a mobile home for
Whatever.
years and years as a child, and now I want to be the fat landlord sitting on
Who
top of the
can run
hill.
it better than somebody who's lived it, right? So we're going to do it, and we're going to let you know. We're working on it.
We'll work on that deal. What if it doesn't happen?
But we can't overpay.
We can't overpay for it.
These people put values on things that I don't even know where they come up with them.
Well, we can pay whatever value they have as long as they can fit our terms.
Yeah.
And as long as that works. So, where are we going to document our mobile home mystery? Where are we going to show people what we're doing with the mobile home park?
It's a secret. I'll have to tell you later.
Okay. We're going to create
You have to stay tuned.
Yeah, we got to create a new company and a new Facebook page to talk about our mobile
we
home
got
parks.
2 of them that we're working on. We got a reject, but I don't think it's a total reject.
Yeah, we're going
I just need a couple more weeks.
Yep. Follow up.
Yep. Follow up all day.
So if you like what you hear, please rate and review.
Spirit Sunday.
Please rate and review Spirit Sunday, also known as the Real Estate Jam Podcast. And we will get back with you next week. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Jam. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information, check out our website, therealestatejam.com, or find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at The Real Estate Jam. If you have any questions, feel free to drop us an email at therealestatejam@gmail.com. See you next episode.